Welcome to today's success-focused English practice. I'm thrilled to share 3 incredible transformation stories that will inspire your dreams while building your intermediate English skills. Our first story follows David Chen, a college dropout who built a multi-million-dollar technology company. Listen carefully for business vocabulary, career development terms, and expressions about overcoming failure. David Chen was 20 years old when he made the most difficult decision of his life, dropping out of Computer Science University to pursue his entrepreneurial dreams. His parents were devastated, his professors were disappointed, and his friends thought he was making a terrible mistake that would ruin his future prospects. David had been struggling academically for 2 years, not because he lacked intelligence, but because traditional classroom learning didn't match his hands-on experimental approach to technology. While his classmates studied theoretical concepts from textbooks, David spent nights coding innovative applications and developing software solutions for real-world problems. The inspiration for David's business came from his own frustration with university administrative systems. Students waited weeks for course registration, grade updates, and communication from professors. David realized that modern technology could streamline these processes, saving time for both students and administrators while improving overall educational experience. David's initial business plan was ambitious but simple. Create user-friendly software that would help universities manage student services more efficiently. He would start by developing applications for course registration, grade tracking, and campus communication, then expand into other administrative areas based on client feedback and market demand. However, starting a technology company without formal education credentials, industry connections, or significant financial resources proved more challenging than David had anticipated. Potential investors questioned his credibility due to his dropout status. Software companies refused to take meetings with someone who lacked a university degree. Even his own family expressed doubts about his unconventional career path. David's breakthrough came when he volunteered to solve a specific problem for his former university's student services department. The registration system crashed every semester, causing chaos for thousands of students trying to enroll in classes. David offered to redesign the system for free, using it as an opportunity to demonstrate his technical capabilities and business potential. Working 18-hour days for 3 months, David completely rebuilt the university's registration platform. The new system was faster, more reliable, and significantly easier to use than the previous version. When registration opened for the fall semester, the process ran smoothly for the first time in years, eliminating the technical problems that had frustrated students and staff. The success of David's registration system attracted attention from administrators at other universities who faced similar technical challenges. Word spread quickly through educational networks about the innovative young entrepreneur who had solved problems that expensive consulting firms couldn't fix. David's first paying client was a small community college that hired him to develop a comprehensive student management system. The project was modest in scope and budget, but it provided David with crucial experience, credibility, and capital to grow his business operations. Within 18 months of leaving university, David had established EduTech Solutions as a legitimate company serving 12 educational institutions across 3 states. His team had grown from just himself to 8 employees, including experienced software developers, sales representatives, and customer service specialists. David's success attracted venture capital investors who recognized the significant market opportunity in educational technology. After extensive negotiations, David secured $2 million in funding to accelerate product development and expand into new markets across the country. The funding allowed David to hire additional talent, invest in advanced technology infrastructure, and develop sophisticated marketing strategies to reach potential clients more effectively. EduTech Solutions began competing directly with established software companies that had previously dominated the educational technology market. David's competitive advantage came from his deep understanding of actual student and administrator needs, gained through his personal experience with university systems. Unlike competitors who developed software based on theoretical requirements, David created solutions that addressed real frustrations and inefficiencies that he had experienced firsthand. 5 years after dropping out of college, David's company generated over $10 million in annual revenue and employed more than 100 people across multiple offices. EduTech Solutions had become a recognized leader in educational software, serving hundreds of universities and colleges nationwide. David's story challenged conventional wisdom about the relationship between formal education and entrepreneurial success. His experience demonstrated that practical skills, innovative thinking, and persistence could sometimes be more valuable than traditional academic credentials in building a successful business. However, David also recognized the importance of continuous learning and professional development. He hired experienced advisors, attended industry conferences, and eventually completed his computer science degree through an executive education program designed for working professionals. David's journey from college dropout to successful CEO inspired many young entrepreneurs who felt constrained by traditional education and career paths. His story showed that alternative routes to success were possible for people willing to take calculated risks and work exceptionally hard to achieve their goals. Today, David serves as a mentor for young entrepreneurs and speaks regularly at universities about innovation, risk-taking, and non-traditional career development. His company continues growing while maintaining its mission of improving educational experiences through innovative technology solutions. Reflect on David's entrepreneurial journey. What advantages and disadvantages did David face as a college dropout entrepreneur? How did David overcome credibility challenges in the business world? What strategies did David use to demonstrate his technical capabilities? How did David's personal experience influence his business approach? What lessons does David's story teach about alternative paths to success? Remember, success isn't always about following traditional paths. Sometimes innovation requires taking risks. Our second story follows Dr. Amara Okafor, who immigrated from Nigeria to become a successful medical professional in Canada. This inspiring journey teaches us about perseverance, cultural adaptation, and turning challenges into opportunities for growth and achievement. Dr. Amara Okafor arrived in Toronto, Canada with excellent medical qualifications from Nigeria, 15 years of clinical experience, and high hopes for continuing her cardiology career in a new country. However, she quickly discovered that immigrating as a medical professional involved complex challenges that no amount of preparation could have fully anticipated. Amara's medical degree and residency training from the University of Lagos were highly respected in Nigeria, where she had built a successful practice treating cardiac patients in one of West Africa's most advanced hospitals facilities. Her decision to immigrate was motivated by desires for expanded professional opportunities, better educational prospects for her 2 children, and the chance to contribute her expertise to Canadian healthcare. The first shock came during Amara's credential evaluation process. Despite her extensive qualifications and experience, Canadian medical authorities required her to complete additional examinations, training programs, and supervised practice periods before she could practice medicine independently. The process would take a minimum of 3 years and cost thousands of dollars in fees and living expenses. While studying for her medical certification exams, Amara needed employment to support her family. However, her Nigerian qualifications weren't recognized for any healthcare positions, forcing her to accept work that didn't utilize her medical expertise or professional experience. Amara's first Canadian job was as a medical office assistant, scheduling appointments and managing patient records for a family practice clinic. The work was far below her qualifications, but it provided income while keeping her connected to the medical field and allowing her to observe Canadian healthcare practices. The transition was emotionally difficult for Amara, who went from being a respected cardiologist to performing administrative tasks that new graduates could easily handle. Colleagues who didn't know her background treated her as an entry-level employee, and patients sometimes questioned her knowledge about medical procedures she had performed hundreds of times. However, Amara approached her situation strategically rather than allowing frustration to overwhelm her determination. She used her position to learn about Canadian medical systems, build professional relationships, and demonstrate her competence through exceptional work performance and voluntary contributions. Amara volunteered to assist with patient education programs, drawing on her extensive medical knowledge to create educational materials about heart disease prevention and treatment. Her presentations were so informative and well-received that the clinic began featuring her expertise in their community outreach programs. Dr. Peterson, the clinic's senior physician, gradually recognized Amara's exceptional medical knowledge and clinical insights. When complex cardiac cases required specialist consultation, Amara's informal advice proved invaluable, even though she couldn't officially provide medical opinions without proper certification. Amara, your medical knowledge is extraordinary, Dr. Peterson told her one day. I want to support your certification process however I can. You belong in medicine, not in administration. Dr. Peterson became Amara's mentor and advocate, providing study resources for her certification exams, offering clinical observation opportunities, and connecting her with other immigrant physicians who had successfully navigated the credentialing process. Amara's preparation for the Canadian medical examinations required her to learn new protocols, regulations, and cultural considerations that differed from her Nigerian training. She studied for 4 hours every evening after work, attended weekend review courses, and practiced clinical scenarios with study groups of other international medical graduates. The examination process was rigorous and stressful, testing not only medical knowledge but also communication skills, cultural competency, and understanding of Canadian healthcare ethics and legal requirements. Amara passed all written examinations on her first attempts, demonstrating that her medical foundation was solid despite different training systems. The clinical skills assessment proved more challenging, as Amara needed to demonstrate familiarity with Canadian medical equipment, procedures, and patient interaction styles. Her accent and communication patterns, which had never been problematic in Nigeria, required adjustment to meet Canadian patient care standards. Amara enrolled in a communication skills program designed specifically for international medical graduates, learning to adapt her professional communication style while maintaining her medical expertise and personal authenticity. The program helped her understand cultural nuances in doctor-patient relationships and medical team dynamics. After 2.5 years of examinations, training, and supervised practice, Amara received her Canadian medical license and was eligible to practice cardiology. Dr. Peterson immediately offered her a position as an associate physician in his expanded cardiac care program. Amara's first day as a licensed Canadian physician was emotional and triumphant. She had overcome language barriers, cultural differences, financial hardship, and professional setbacks to achieve her goal of continuing her medical career in her new country. Amara's patient care approach combined the best aspects of her Nigerian training with Canadian medical practices. Her cultural background helped her connect with diverse patient populations, and her international experience provided unique perspectives on global health issues and treatment approaches. Within 5 years of arriving in Canada, Amara had established herself as a respected cardiologist, serving a diverse patient base that included many immigrants who appreciated her understanding of their cultural backgrounds and healthcare needs. Her success opened doors for other international medical graduates seeking guidance and mentorship. Amara also became involved in policy discussions about international credential recognition, advocating for streamlined processes that would allow qualified immigrant professionals to contribute their expertise more quickly while maintaining appropriate safety standards. Dr. Amara Okoffer's journey from immigrant struggling with credential recognition to successful Canadian cardiologist demonstrated that professional success in a new country required not only technical competence, but also cultural adaptability, persistence, and strategic relationship building. Her story inspired many other immigrants facing similar professional challenges, showing that setbacks and obstacles could be transformed into opportunities for growth, learning, and ultimately greater success than originally imagined. Remember, professional success often requires adapting your skills to new environments while maintaining your core expertise. Our final story features Mrs. Sarah Martinez, an elementary school teacher who developed innovative teaching methods that transformed student learning. This story demonstrates how one person's creativity and dedication can create positive change that impacts thousands of lives. Mrs. Sarah Martinez had been teaching third grade for 8 years when she realized that traditional classroom methods weren't effectively reaching many of her students, particularly those who struggled with conventional learning approaches or came from disadvantaged backgrounds that made academic success more challenging. Sarah taught at Lincoln Elementary School in a diverse urban community where students spoke multiple languages at home. Families faced various economic pressures, and educational resources were often limited compared to schools in wealthier districts. Despite these challenges, Sarah believed that every child possessed the potential for academic excellence and creative thinking. The breakthrough came when Sarah noticed that her most academically struggling students showed remarkable engagement and learning during hands-on science experiments and art projects. These same children who seemed disinterested during traditional reading and math lessons became enthusiastic, creative learners when given opportunities for experiential and collaborative learning. Sarah began experimenting with integrated learning approaches that combined traditional academic subjects with creative projects, technology integration, and real-world problem-solving activities. Instead of teaching math, science, reading, and social studies as separate subjects, Sarah developed interdisciplinary projects that addressed multiple learning objectives simultaneously. One of Sarah's most successful innovations was the Community Problem Solvers program, where students identified real challenges in their neighborhood and developed comprehensive solutions using math, science, research, and communication skills. Students studied issues like playground safety, community gardening, and local business development, while learning academic content through practical application. The results were remarkable. Students who had previously struggled with standardized tests began demonstrating significant improvement in reading comprehension, mathematical reasoning, and critical thinking skills. More importantly, they developed confidence, creativity, and problem-solving abilities that would benefit them throughout their educational journey. Sarah's teaching methods attracted attention from other educators and school administrators who visited her classroom to observe the innovative learning environment she had created. Sarah began sharing her approaches through teacher workshops, educational conferences, and online platforms that reached educators worldwide. The Martinez method was eventually adopted by dozens of schools across multiple states, impacting thousands of students who benefited from more engaging, inclusive, and effective educational approaches. Sarah's innovation demonstrated that individual creativity and dedication could create systemic change in education. Reflect on Sarah's educational impact. What problem did Sarah identify in traditional teaching methods? How did Sarah's integrated learning approach differ from conventional education? What evidence showed that Sarah's methods were successful? How did Sarah's innovations spread to impact other schools and students? Powerful success principles from today's stories. David's principle. Innovation often requires taking calculated risks and challenging conventional approaches. Amara's principle. Professional success demands adaptability, persistence, and strategic relationship building. Sarah's principle. Individual creativity and dedication can create positive change that impact many lives. Advanced success vocabulary. Entrepreneur, a person who starts and builds their own business. Innovation, creating new and better ways of doing things. Adaptation, adjusting your approach to succeed in new situations. Mentorship, learning from experienced people who guide your development. Persistence, continuing to work toward goals despite obstacles and setbacks. Professional development strategies. Identify market opportunities like David discovered in educational technology. Build strategic relationships like Amara did with Dr. Peterson. Innovate within your field like Sarah's creative teaching methods. Overcome credential barriers through alternative demonstration of competence. Scale your impact by sharing successful approaches with others. Career advancement grammar. Present perfect for experience. I have developed. She has achieved. They have created. Past perfect for career progression. David had been struggling before he found his breakthrough. Future continuous for goals. I will be building my business. She will be helping students. Conditional for strategic thinking. If I take this risk, I could achieve greater success. Success action plan for English learners. Week 1. Identify your unique strengths and market opportunities. Week 2. Build professional relationships and seek mentorship. Week 3. Develop innovative approaches in your field of interest. Week 4. Create plans for scaling your impact and helping others. Professional communication phrases. Networking. I'd like to learn more about your experience. Innovation. I've identified an opportunity to improve. Leadership. My vision is to create positive change by problem solving. I propose a solution that addresses. Mentorship. I would value your guidance on. Advanced success strategies. 1. Think beyond traditional paths. Success can come through unconventional routes. 2. Transform challenges into opportunities. Every obstacle contains potential advantages. 3. Build bridges between cultures. International experience creates unique value. 4. Scale your individual impact. Share successful approaches to help others. 5. Persist through credential barriers. Demonstrate competence through alternative methods. Your professional English development. David built a tech empire by solving real problems with innovative solutions. Amara overcame professional barriers through strategic adaptation and relationship building. Sarah transformed education by developing creative teaching methods that helped struggling students succeed. What professional impact will you create? Success in English-speaking professional environments requires more than language skills. You need strategic thinking, innovative approaches, and the ability to build meaningful relationships while pursuing your career goals. Your success journey accelerates when you combine language learning with professional development, build relationships with mentors and industry leaders, identify opportunities to create value for others, persist through challenges while adapting your approach, share your expertise to help others achieve their goals. Remember, professional success is not about perfection. It's about progression, innovation, and creating positive impact in whatever field you choose. Thank you for joining today's success-focused practice. Your English skills and professional capabilities are growing every day. Keep learning, keep innovating, and keep building the career of your dreams.